there, my name is Beck, and the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop. And it's another day, and the slow, real-time nuclear explosion that's engulfing the comic book industry, I think, imploding in the comic book industry, continues to, very, very slowly mushroom cloud out, get bigger and bigger, in interesting and new ways every day. Now, I've been talking about this, and I'm going to continue talking about this a lot on this channel, because I'm just so freaking invested in this story. It's fascinating to me. It's absolutely fascinating. You know what I find fascinating? A few things. Firstly, we've got to love the poetic justice. That's just ringing out the Schadenfreude, I think, is the word I'm after. But mostly, what I'm really enjoying about it is people under extreme pressure tend to do bonkers, somewhat entertaining things. Now, if the people under extreme pressure doing these bonkers and somewhat entertaining things were bonkers to start with, that just makes for fantastic viewing. So, I'm so here, 110%. But before we go further, can I ask you guys, can you hit that subscribe button? That would make me so unbelievably, splendidly happy. It's quite pathetic how happy it would make me. Let me show you how happy it would make me. I actually want to show you my appreciation, because I am genuinely, honestly appreciative of each and every one of you hits the subscribe button. I give stuff away each week on this channel. The stuff I'm giving away this week is a pretty good one. It's a tonight on a very special edition. It's a very special edition of Lord of the Rings, Fellowship of the Ring, first of the Lord of the Rings movie, DVD. It's got 4 disc sets. This is just a gorgeous package. It's got these maps of Middle Earth with little booklets. You've got the extended cut and the original. I think they're both in this. All you need to do to win it is subscribe to the channel. Subscribing being the reason I'm doing all this crap. Subscribe to the channel and leave the hashtag treebid. Go and check the video notes. It will give you all the instructions you need to be able to win it. We'll give it away next week when I'm on the TARDIS zone. Probably, yeah. And also, if you look in the video notes, there's a Doctor Who audio story you can download as well. So have fun with that. Fine. So the thing about the story, like I said, is like the poetic justice, the Schadenfreude, and the Schadenfreude that I'm really, really, totally enjoying is watching these comic book creators realize that they need the fans. It's like, we talk a lot about fan entitlement. Fans don't own this, fandom, they don't own that. Yes, but also the creators don't own them either. I mean, yes, sometimes creators do literally own them, but they still don't have complete ownership on them, because it's a partnership, it's a marriage. You need people to create the content, and you need people to want to buy the content. You need the fans and the creators, and they need to really be in sync for it to work. And if they're not in sync, it doesn't work. As what we've been saying is, it doesn't work. So so we've been watching these comic book creators finally suddenly realize, oh, wait a minute, I need somebody to buy my comics because I'm in bit of trouble now. And the fans, for the most part, they spent the last few years doing everything you can to alienate them. Then there's just absolutely zero self-awareness going on at all. They genuinely have no idea why they keep getting roasted about their responses to the implosion of the industry, which they themselves destroyed. So, to the Gail Simones of the world, the Kelly Sue DeConnicks, the Mark Wades, here's how it works. This is really simple, and I can't believe that you have to have somebody explain this to you, but I'm going to do it anyway, because that's the kind of guy I am. I like to be helpful. I like to be nice. So, you know how you guys really, 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 really hate somebody if they voted for Trump or they voted for Brexit. You just really, really hate them. You just hate them, and you don't want anything to do with them at all. You don't even want their money. That's how much you hate them. They disgust you to that level. So, so those people that you find so disgusting, and so you call them bigots and Yahtzees and racists, because they have these crazy ideas like border security being a good thing, and the economy, and just to be clear, these crazy ideas were like the mainstream Democratic position in the US over a few years ago, or the mainstream Labour position in the UK just a few years ago. I was in living memory, 5 years ago maximum. These were the mainstream position they hold, but because they hold them now, you find them absolutely disgusting. You find these people absolutely disgusting. So here's something I don't think you've realised. they find you disgusting too. Yeah, they find you really disgusting. Kurt Busiek, for example, when you add resists at the end of your Twitter handle, it makes it so people don't want to buy your comics, even if it's the characters they wanted, if they like. They make it so, oh, that guy's a dick. I don't want anything to do with him. So they don't want to buy your comics, and the proof of that is they stopped buying comics. Okay, you had razor thin margins, which meant the industry had a single point of failure. One company couldn't handle the lack of cash flow because the margins were razor thin, and the entire industry imploded. Yeah, in one moment. So I understand. Yeah, Kurt, when you put that resist at the end of your Twitter handle, you felt so brave. You felt like you were standing tall. But it turns out all you were resisting was sanity and the best economy I've seen in my freaking lifetime. And the main thing you're resisting is selling your comics to customers. So yeah, I'm glad you feel good about yourself. I'm glad you gave you that little endorphin rush. How's that working out for you now? So I'm not sure if those customers were disgusted enough with you in return to not take money from you, though. I don't know. I don't know if there's an equal level of disgust, because that would be crazy. Most people assuredly are disgusted with you. Do not want to financially support your work, but even if it's got characters inside, but they may still take money from you. They may not be that disgusted. To give you an idea how that works, do you know what I would do with somebody who has a diametrically opposed worldview to me? One that I find evil, one I find hateful to me personally. You know what I would do if one of them wanted to buy my comics? Let's say the Hitler Youth wanted to buy one of my comics, right? Yeah, I'm a rabbi. That's got a little bit of tension stamped on that situation. But you know what I would do? I would say, thank you very much, sir. Have a good day. What? Because why wouldn't I? I'm taking their money. I'm selling their comics. That's what I want to do, which facilitates me being able to make more comics. Ah! See, that's really the problem. You haven't needed that interaction, that simple, like, selling a good to somebody, to understand that's what facilitates you being able to do your job. You haven't been able to understand it, and finding that out is just an incredible and fulfilling piece of Schadenfreude, which is why I am so freaking invested in this story. So hilariously, Gail Simone, one of the chief mean girls of the industry, one of the chief architects of the destruction of the industry, had this incredible idea to get through these trying times. And you know what her incredible idea was? Her incredible idea was, let's make a comic book that comic book fans would really like and want to buy. Okay, honestly, I'm not exaggerating. That was genuinely her idea, her brilliant plan. She wanted to make a Marvel and DC crossover event that fans just must have. Okay, so firstly, it's an idea that's been done several times before, over and over, and it's never been very memorable because it's just a gimmick. At the end of the day, it's just a gimmick, and gimmicks don't make for sustainable sales. I think that's why you want to go. You don't just want to be able to sell this week's comic. You want to be selling comics a year from now as well. So you need sustainable sales. And gimmicks don't do that. You know how I know gimmicks don't do that? Do you remember fidget spinners, right? You remember they were the biggest thing ever? You see anybody now? No, you don't see any now because they were a freaking gimmick. Yeah, but the main thing that went through my head when you had this incredible idea, I'm saying this wonderful, wonderful idea of making comics that comic book readers may want to buy. Yeah, the first thing that went through my head is, that's your freaking job right now! Yeah, that's what you should have been doing all this time! Comic books is a commercial art form, which means you must make them financially viable to make them be able to exist. Which now means you must appeal to you have to appeal to customers at some point in the comic book making process. Your every freaking page, your every freaking panel should at least be an attempt to make somebody to make a reader think, I must have this. Your every piece of work. You must have this complete belief in it, which you clearly clearly do not. So look, when I write and draw comics, when I launch my Indiegogo, I'm not a natural salesman. I'm really generally not. I'm not a natural salesperson at all. But I can sure as hell sell that. You know why? Because firstly, I want to do more of them. You know, I like seeing or reading my comics. But you know, the reason I can sell that, the reason I can sell my comics is because I freaking love them. I think they're fantastic. I think I'm benefiting you by bringing them to your attention. You know, I feel I'm altruistic by doing it. You know, it's just in my nature to when I do something to try and make it as good as I possibly can. And so yeah, I have complete belief and love for it, which is what you need to have. And you have this weird, I would say somewhat pathetic need to like spend your life telling people how much better you are than them. That does not make for great sales, you know? I mean, just look at your freaking Twitter. I'm talking about girls, just look at your freaking Twitter feed. It's sad. It's genuinely sad. All these like zingers and put downs and one-liners, you respond to people who you think are attacking, and a lot of times are genuinely attacking you. Yeah, you know what makes you look strong? You know what makes somebody look strong and powerful? Is not caring. Not caring enough to answer. You know, in generally, if you can keep silent in the face of somebody accusing you of something or attacking you, which is incredibly hard. If you can do that, you automatically become the stronger person. You know, one of the greatest put downs I've ever seen was unfortunately fictional, but it's still fantastic. If you ever seen the show Mad Men, at one point the main character Don Draper, he's in this guy's attacking him. And he's saying, "Oh, you're this and you're that and the other, you're all these things." And then Don looks back at him with no emotion in his eye at all, no emotion at all, and says, I don't think about you at all. That's one of the greatest put downs. Says, "Hey, you just don't care." The only reason anybody has ever had the need to is because to show everybody how smart they are is because they have no belief in themselves. They got to project it, and and that's why that's the harsh reality that I think these comic book professionals have been desperately insulating themselves from. This like self-loathing and steadfast clinging to ideas and positions which are objectively absurd. You know, this resist nonsense. It's objectively absurd. You know, all that noise they've been making for all these years is just to drown out that constant voice in their head, in the back of their heads, going all the time, saying, what a useless piece of crap they actually are, and they haven't done anything with their lives at all. So, the chief propagandist of the tradition of the woke comic book industry that's folded is Rich Johnston. Rich Johnston had the website called Bleeding Cool, and a lot of these creators rallied behind and hid behind his propaganda. Now he's in real total freak out mode because of the implosion of the comic book industry. Because it also brings with it for him a real significant loss of his personal power, and he's fighting that every step of the way. God bless him. So, DC are in a much tougher position than Marvel. I think, Marvel has sold the idea to Disney that they're like an IP farm where they can develop new content inexpensively. And I think that's why we saw Marvel really sharply change directions when they were acquired by Disney. And they got they did the all new, all different, which, mostly turned out to be all or mostly unsellable Marvel. So DC are not in that position. They were acquired by AT&T, who's really been and what's really been keeping them afloat is they're just too small for AT&T to notice. AT&T have like billions of dollars of debt, while Marvel DC Comics are only losing millions instead of billions. So they're really not being noticed at all. So they've tried to sell themselves to Marvel as an IP. They've tried to sell them like Marvel as an IP farm to AT&T. But unlike Disney, AT&T apparently doesn't have this strong SJW leadership. So for DC, having unsellable copies of Squirrel Girl just seems like having an unsellable product. It doesn't register on them that they don't think that they're fighting, they're punching Nazis on the beach by making this unsellable product. They don't feel like they're fighting this mythical patriarchy by putting it out. There's no higher purpose to it. They're just losing money. So what the hell? So in short, DC really, really needs to be able to sell product and reinstall the cash flow that has been lost in the industry for them. And they need to do it ASAP to avoid themselves being shuttered. Just like Vertigo, their imprint Vertigo was, just like Mad Magazine was. You think it can't happen? It can absolutely happen. So DC have developed, and actually I was really impressed, they developed a new distribution system in the space of just a few weeks because they had to. And that's why people do anything. That's why anything happens, is because you have to do it. So Diamond was the single distributor in the US, and and they're in the middle of like a Rain Man like meltdown freak out. You know that bit in Rain Man is like, people's cold. That's basically where Diamond is right now. They have this complete meltdown. They're not shipping any product, and they're not paying publishers for the product that they shipped and already sold. So that's making people a little bit antsy. So Diamond to me looks like a business which is not going to reopen its doors again when this crisis is over. So with all this nonsense from both the publishers, creators, and editors, they cut the margins of their industry so incredibly fine to nothing that after a very short time of cash flow, Diamond were like, no, we're out, we're imploded. So DC needs to sell its comics in some way. It's been moving more into digital, and now it's more digital stuff. By the way, as an aside, I don't want to help them out, but it seems to me if they're going to sell a digital comic, it will make sense to sell it for like an extra $1, like $4.99 or whatever, and then have a digital coupon in that you can then redeem at any comic book store for a print copy when it's eventually shipped. I think that would be actually seem to be the way to go. I don't know. Listen, it's just I'm sure there's some reasons why that wouldn't work, but that seems to me that would give them continued product, continued cash flow. They wouldn't break the habit of reading comics, and people will still get their print comics eventually without breaking the habit. So DC, it needs to restart the engine to get that cash flow going. To which Rich Johnston and also Brian Hibbs, the retailer who bought Gary from Nerdotics store in San Francisco, I think, Comic Experience, I think, they responded kind of like Joe Pesci in Goodfellas, when he's doing his collection. The guy says, I'm sorry, I had a bad week, everything shut down, there's no money, no cash flow. Which Joe Pesci's like, F you, where's my money? F you, where's that is Rich Johnston, that is Brian Hibbs. They're like, I don't care about your problems, DC, I don't care about it, and they're just freaking out. So this week, which is actually the point of this video, I'm finally getting to the point of the bloody video. This week we've seen hit piece after hit piece after hit piece being written by Johnston himself on Bleeding Cool. So we've had against this new distribution system, because they just hate it. They just hate the idea that DC set up this alternate distribution system. So some of the headlines we've had is a disaster in waiting to take place. Bill Shane's on the DC distribution. No publisher but DC has approached Midtown UCS distributors. They're the new distributors. Diamond talks DC Comics. All orders are still in. I said, they're creating propaganda, which is what Bleeding Cool does. So why are they shilling so hard for Diamond? What's going on there? That's really my question. And I think it's because the answer is because of this. It's that Diamond has said they're planning on restarting to ship product again in mid-May. And if they do that, there's a chance that it all can go, everything just go back to the way it was and everything can be normal again. But I don't see, I really just don't see it happening. Firstly, it's not been universally believed at all. I think Alterna and much more significantly, DC have closed their accounts with Diamond. They cancelled their accounts with them, which is probably an extinction hit for Diamond in of itself. So Johnston really doesn't want that to happen. He doesn't want that to happen because I said he's desperately clinging on to the idea that things can just return to normal. Things can go back to normal. They can continue making unsellable comics that nobody bloody wants. They can continue to do that. And they're just desperate for this party to continue. They're desperate for it. But Rich, mate, I got to tell you, I got bad news for you. It's over. The party is freaking over. Impossibly, the David versus Goliath matchup of Comicscape against the mainstream comic book industry Comicsgate won. It's freaking incredible. So for this new distributors, this new distribution service, they'll be smart. This is something I thought to myself. They would be smart to introduce a new service of being able to Indiegogo fulfillment, to their service. That way, you could get like these very popular Comicsgate books can finally get onto the whatever comic book stores survive shelves. And that can happen easily. And I think that's really what they're most scared of. They're scared of comic books being sold on their quality rather than their agenda. They're scared on books being sold that their creators stand 100% behind, and instead of the publishers have no returnability of their comics. So as opposed to like the Gail Simones and the Mark Wades of the world, who just don't see themselves as customer services representatives. You know who sees themselves as a customer service representative? Ethan Van Sciver, your boy Zach, John Malin, Clint Stoker. All these people are actually selling comics, which the mainstream industry are not doing. And at the end of the day, what they're really, really, really scared of, what their real fear is that comics become what they really should have been and what they stopped being a number of years ago. And that's a meritocracy. That's what they're really terrified, that comics will become a meritocracy. You know why they're scared of that? Because they don't have that much merit, do they? My name is Phila Becken, the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe. Ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop, and have yourself a fantastic day.